Hi, I'm David Weck. Today I'm going to be teaching you a shoulder rehabilitation exercise with the goal of creating more pain-free range of motion. Now, depending upon the shoulder injury, this may or may not be appropriate, but in general, this is a fantastic way to begin enhancing that pain-free range of motion and increase strength through that range of motion. I'll be using the 2-pound RMT club. We have 2, 4, 6, and 8 pounds. Every 2 pounds makes a huge difference. I recommend starting with the 2-pound version. I also have a 4-pound that I'll demonstrate. To perform this exercise, you start with a wide base. You're going to be choking up on the club with the injured side, and I'm just going to hang it neutrally with the thumb facing out. Now, I like to put my other hand here to really unify the core with this arm, and I'm simply going to rotate everything so I don't have a lot of range of motion in the shoulder relative to my trunk. So that's my start. I want everything to be pain-free. And as I start to increase that range of motion, I can start to rotate the trunk less to create a little bit more range of motion through the shoulder. Now with the RMT club, we have that shifting load inside that gives me a little bit of audible and tactile feedback as to stopping the end range of motion or just briefly pausing that end range of motion. This will help strengthen you at the limitations of the end range of motion, and then you can use that centrifugal force of the club to really create what we call long and strong. So we're creating expansion through the joint as we increase that pain-free range of motion. Now another progression on this is to now pronate and supinate the wrist. So what I'll do is as I come to the opposite side, I will pronate the wrist so that the thumb faces that way, and that's going to create more length through the posterior aspect of the shoulder, and then supinate to the same side. So I'm turning the thumb so it's facing that way. So I'm basically rotating and turning the thumb to the side I'm going to. That's going to, again, create a little bit more range of motion, and I will regulate how much core rotation I have depending upon what the range of motion in the shoulder is. Now again, we can start to pause at the top range of motion here, and ultimately the goal would be to be able to circle it all the way around. And I recommend underhand circles are the direction that we'll always want to begin with. We don't want to risk any impingement coming in an overhand circle. As I just pendulum the club here, I can go in both directions without creating pain and to start to increase the strength at the end range of motion. Now, if I progress to a 4-pound club, it's a lot more weight. And now I'm going to be even creating more of that expansion through the joint with more centrifugal force. The same progressions apply in terms of rotating the core, less rotation through the core, now pronation and supination through the wrist, that I'm sort of figure-8ing it there. And then you can choke down on the club to create even more expansive force out, and ultimately, hopefully, you can create that full circular motion with the underhand direction is the key. So that's a fantastic way to get started, increasing range of motion, pain-free range of motion, and start to strengthen the shoulder through an expanding range of motion. It's a pendulum swing with the RMT club.